After learning her daughter-in-law had late-stage stomach cancer, the mother-in-law deliberately prepared dishes loaded with chili peppers. She reasoned that if her daughter-in-law died from the illness, she and her son could collect the $2 million insurance payout. Unexpectedly, the daughter-in-law thoroughly enjoyed these spicy dishes, while the mother-in-law began experiencing stomach pains. In reality, it was the mother-in-law herself who had cancer. One day prior, the daughter-in-law went to the hospital to retrieve both her and her mother-in-law's test results. The doctor informed her mother-in-law had advanced stomach cancer, requiring at least $500,000 for treatment. So, the daughter-in-law decided to sell her house to raise money for her mother-in-law's treatment. However, the mother-in-law mistakenly believed it was her daughter-in-law who had cancer. Neither she nor her son intended to pay for the daughter-in-law's treatment. They even discussed with a third party how to divide the insurance payout. Upon hearing this, the daughter-in-law was furious and resolved to exact revenge in her own way. When the woman returned home, she discovered her mother-in-law had prepared a table full of chili peppers and even urged her to eat more. The woman happily ate alongside her mother-in-law. Unexpectedly, the mother-in-law suddenly clutched her stomach in pain. Seeing this, the woman had no choice but to feign her own discomfort. Yet the mother-in-law did not relent. She even proactively asked for an iced drink. After they finished a large cup together, the mother-in-law suddenly coughed and vomited, but her son dismissed it, believing it was merely a simple case of diarrhea. The daughter-in-law then found two actors and asked them to help stage a deception to trick her mother-in-law and son. Seeing the generous payment, the two actors immediately agreed. When the daughter-in-law returned home with the medicine, she was met with accusations from her son and mother-in-law. Angrily, she retreated to her bedroom. Just then, an actress posing as a secretary to a multi-millionaire arrived. She claimed the daughter-in-law was the sole heir to a fortune. Upon seeing the documents, mother and son instantly believed the secretary. The woman emerged to investigate. Seeing the forged photos, she immediately began her performance. Mother and son finally fell for the deception. Upon hearing the woman could inherit a $50 million fortune, they grew even more excited. To win her favor, the mother and son decided to treat her cancer, but they had spent all their money on the other woman. To fund her treatment, they resorted to borrowing from loan sharks. Soon, the entire family attended the millionaire's birthday banquet. At the party, the millionaire deemed the family utterly inadequate as potential heirs, especially since they hadn't brought an expensive gift to present her. Mother and son were instantly terrified. Desperate to secure the inheritance, they immediately promised to deliver a gift later and cure the woman's stomach cancer. Yet all they had left was their house, so they sold the house to buy the gift. But then the loan shark came knocking, demanding immediate repayment. Mother and son had no money. They learned a lesson from the creditors. When the woman and the wealthy woman visited them later, they found the residence in utter disarray. The wealthy woman feigned an order for the two to divorce, otherwise the woman would receive no inheritance. Then the wealthy woman departed. For the sake of greater gain, the mother and son had no choice but to agree to divorce. But after the woman received the money from selling the house, she vanished immediately with those two actors. In the end, the mother and son could only end up on the streets.